what even started you becoming an actor? Were your parents, in show business? Or because I mean, she's done so many TV shows, commercials, films. I mean, hundreds of them, as well as even working in industries and helping them promote their particular brand. So yes, I just think it's fascinating that you've done this, and I wanted to know why, what started it.
Okay, well, actually, my entire life I've always straddled the business, the corporate world, and then the entertainment world. As a little kid, I was the one that was putting on fairy tales for my parents until they kind of walked away. The theater kid, all that. But I was also very practical. And no, my parents are as far from the entertainment industry as you could possibly get. In fact, they saw what I was interested in, and I used to kind of poke them and just say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to college and be an actress." Oh, no. And I had other interests as well. So I kept it on the side while I had a corporate career, which was naturally IT, corporate sales, tech, right? Just like
Yes.
acting. But I always did stuff on the side. And especially when I was able to be in sales, I had a flexible schedule. So I started building up a lot of professional experience here and there. And then after a while, I dived in more full time. And I'm just having a blast because that little kid inside of me is just going, yes.
But all those years in corporate sales, I just imagine you being on stage a lot of times, whether it's even in front of a committee or a board or even an audience of, several hundred. Did that also help you with your acting?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I guess I'm a bit of an introverted ham. I love being in front of people. And to be able to do that professionally, even when I was like 23, 24 years old, I was writing some technical papers that would be presented in our engineering scientific journals, but they would also get me to conferences because I love the idea of conferences and networking, but mostly I got to be a speaker on stage and then see
Yeah.
my papers published. And that just checked off a few boxes for me. So when I got into the sales side rather than the pure tech, that gave me a stage every day. And the way I saw it was every sales call was like an audition, and every sale was a booking. The difference is you get paid for those auditions. It
Right.
doesn't
That's
work that way in the entertainment industry.
That's true. And I imagine then with the acting side, especially, you probably work with casting directors and different people to help you. It's not like you do the whole, you
No,
know, because people I don't think really realize that. They think sometimes they have to do it all, but you can also work with a team of people that also can help you, agents and stuff like that. Is that correct?
oh, absolutely. And there are all kinds of flavors. First of all, you have the stage acting, then you have on screen, and you have voiceover. And, I've played in all of them, but mostly now these days, I just do the on film, the on camera work, and voiceover. And they are very different. So, for example, I've got agents representing me for those areas, and they're wonderful, and that's where I get work. Like I just did a commercial shoot that just yesterday, and that came through an agent. But with voiceover, a lot of that work you also are going to find on your own. Yes, I have booked work through my agent, and recently I had the wonderful pleasure of being at Tyler Perry Studios here in Atlanta and being the voice for a television show, which was very exciting. Um,
Yes.
with voiceover, you pretty much got to do everything, and that's where my business background helps. You got to do your own lead generation, which is not as much fun. You've got to do your marketing and your promotion and so forth and so on. So it's one of those answers where it depends.
Wow.
Well, but
Can
I
you
think
give
that's
us,
key.
I'm sorry, I was just saying, can you give us a couple tips on how to find an agent? Because I don't think we've ever talked
Oh,
about that before.
absolutely. In fact, I have got a blog on my website, Laura Doman, and I
Mhm.
even wrote an article that I think has been published a couple different places on how to get started in an acting career the smart way, because there are a lot of scammers out there. I
Mhm.
just dealt with one on the voiceover world yesterday that, you know what the red flags are and you got to be careful. So in terms of tips, the first thing I will tell anybody, doesn't matter whether you're doing stage, screen, or voiceover, train. And that means that you need to get professional training. If anybody is going to be telling you, oh, yeah, take 6 easy lessons, you're going to make six figures, run. And especially if you have children or teenagers, you're going to be very susceptible because you're going to want to do something for your kids, but the scammers out there know it. So get the training. And before you dive too much into it, make sure it's something you like to do. The other thing is to be aware of the competition in the industry and the harsh reality. A very small percentage, especially of on-screen actors, are going to be making a full-time living at it. It can happen, but it usually takes 10, 20 or more years, or it may never happen at all. There are always those one-hit wonders or people that are discovered, but that's really more of an anomaly. In voiceover, there is a much greater chance of being able to pull in six figures. But again, it takes time and investment because you have to be prepared for whatever career, whether it's full-time or part-time, you're getting into. For example, with voiceover, you need training. You need professional demos, not one you throw together yourself. These days, you need a home studio. You need to invest in the technology. You need to be perhaps on some casting sites, and you need to do your marketing. So that is an ongoing thing. When you're doing on-camera acting, there's less of an upfront type of investment. You still need your headshots. You're going to want to work on a number of projects. And on camera, the easiest way to get started is like with student films. They're not going to pay anything, but if you get a good quality one, you'll get footage because you got to build up a demo reel of real projects. Once you're doing this work and you're finding it on your own, going to film schools, talking to people, then maybe you can find an agent. The idea with agents is that they want to bring on people to their roster that's not already well represented by 6 other people, and that somebody's going to make money. And the harsh reality is if you're not booking, maybe over time they're going to drop you. That's what the big ones do. The smaller local regional ones, they understand it takes time. But the other thing I would say is, especially with on-camera acting, start in your own backyard. I mean, don't think that you're going to go right to LA because there are a lot of people there that have come to Atlanta because this is where it's happening, people. The film and TV industry is huge. And we're also going to work state, which means you could do a lot of non-union work.
Right. And you also even mentioned just earlier that, with the Tyler Perry, I mean, right there for you anyways, I know you've worked there before and you told me, I mean, you can drive there, I think in 30 minutes or something. So it's important to, to have, in your case, that right in your backyard. And, like you said, because you do really want to build up your local first, your business first.
And you build relationships. And I have gotten referrals from people I've worked with before for other projects with them or with other folks. There have been cross referrals between talent. Like I have a friend who is only SAG union, and she had an opportunity for an on-camera spokesperson thing, but they wanted non-union. She suggested me, and you pay the favor forward. And that's if somebody's not going through an agency, because the agency will cover everything. But relationships are important. And you've got to be respectful of boundaries. Nobody wants to be stalked by a desperate actor. And by the way, desperation is the first thing they can tell in your auditions or in your approach. You got to be a real person.